Hello folks, guys and girls. Today we have another special here, Automann Talks again. We're sitting in an Audi S3 2015 model. It's actually an S3 sedan, the car that I have been driving for quite a while now. And today I want to show you how to get the deeper exhaust note and a better sound of the exhaust system without putting any modifications on it or without spending any money for it. So the first thing that I want to explain you is more or less how the drive select works and in which modes you actually have a deeper exhaust note or maybe even an in-cab sound generator. And later on I will deplug the active exhaust system, so more or less I will deactivate the boxes that are on the right hand side, on the left hand side from the exhaust system, which is a quad pipe exhaust system on this car, and show you what that does. I have done this test before and I've actually driven this car for, let's say, 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers without the exhaust valves actively opening and closing, so I had the system deactivated, and I'm not sure if this deep noise or the deep grunt that the car actually has afterwards really comes across on the video. So I will do my best and try to do my best also in video editing, so to get the right audio out of it, to really give you that idea of what the car sounds in real life. But it might be that a lot of that is lost on the audio of the camera, because it's just in the low frequencies, actually sometimes even frequencies that you want to avoid, but in real life it really gives you a lot better sound, and you have, especially once you're driving in the cities, you really have a deep grunt, and definitely more than what the standard system is giving you. So first of all, to understand how everything is working, you have the drive select, and in this car there's pretty much everything equipped in. So I can also set the dampers, I can set the engine, I can set the steering, and of course active cruise control or adaptive cruise control is also something that you can set off. Usually if you are in the comfort mode, the inside sound generator that's in the cab is more or less turned off, and the exhaust valves will only open if you are in the real higher revs. Then they will open, but only if you're really putting it into full throttle mode. Auto, of course, is a bit something in between, but if you go to dynamic, then this will happen, that you actually have an inside sound generator that's giving you more sound, but also the adjustment of the flaps in the exhaust will open up earlier. So earlier means in that case that you probably already get exhaust valves open somewhere in between 2,800 RPMs or 3,000 RPMs. This is usually the range where the exhaust valves are opening in the dynamic mode. And I really talked to the Audi product managers, and they told me yes, the dynamic mode is really affecting that setting of the exhaust valves as well. It's not only the inside sound generator. So if I go to individual, for example, I can show you which settings I've taken. So individual is actually nothing new compared to the others. It's just more or less a combination or like your personal profile of what everything can be done. So what I've taken in individual, I have put the engine sound, motor sound in German, I've put that in dynamic. And dynamic in this case means that I have always the sound like in dynamic. So, but something that you also can't do with the dynamic mode, S mode, anything that you can put in the car, is that the exhaust valves are open below 2,800 RPMs. So especially in the rev range that you have in the city, if you want to be cruising around, if you want to mesh the gas, really get the turbo pressure on and really have a good grunt in a higher gear more or less, so really passing 2,000 RPMs, you will never really get this deep and loud voice. You really have to pass 2,800 RPMs, and that makes the possibility very high that you're speeding in the city, and it's really uncomfortable because the car is going forward above 2,500 RPMs, of course. So something that I want to show you now is that if you deplug this system, you will get that deeper sound, and I hope that this will get across on the clips later on that I'm doing, and I will be just curious what you think, if that's something that you should try, if that's a noise that you want to get, or if you say, well, it doesn't sound as good anymore, it's maybe too raw, or the difference is maybe not big enough that I would be doing something to the electronics on the car, or that I would be playing around with it. From my experience, I can only tell you, you can plug and deplug the boxes all the time. You just have to ensure that the the plugs are actually not getting wet, so that there's not any moisture getting in, so you're getting maybe electronic contact, and it might give you a warning in the system. But in my case it never did that, and that's the reason why I would recommend for everybody that's having a Golf 7R, or it's having a Audi S3, or even some other Audi models which have the same box, that you just try it out and get your personal opinion on it if you like it, and if you don't like it, you just put the plugs back in. So one thing I did is that I went to the Audi dealership and I bought this plug that actually is the end of what is put in the box, and where the wires are coming in, which is controlling the opening and the closing of the valves. So this is the end that comes into the box, which I pulled out. So if you're going back there, you would press it down. You would press it down here, and you're pulling that out of the box. And this one is something that you then just would put in. And as you can already see, I put some glue on the back, so it's there is no chance that any moisture can come in. And I would just push it back into the box, and it's closed. With the other end of the cable, what I did, there's like a piece of metal where a hole is in, and I just put the cable in there, so it's not going down. Any moisture is coming up, and I usually put something like a balloon around it or whatever, so it's enclosed and no moisture can get on it. I never had any errors in the car, any thing that the garage or the works complained about. And therefore I think it's safe to do it. There's no problem.